Well, that was a big mess up from the Ravens. Thanks, Lamar. Thanks, Derek. Nice job. Nice job. Now, the stepbrothers Derek is my top Derek once again because, Henry, you have failed me. I know you never fumble, but you fumble at the most inopportune times. It drives me nuts. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Affaka Show. It is currently September 8th or 9th whenever I decide to edit this. People were trying to figure out the show, and it just feels good to get an NFL Sunday under our belts. I know everyone is stressed about Red Zone, and thankfully, commercials weren't too bad. If you want to give me those commercials, and now I know that I'm sounding like a sucker here, but if you want to give me those commercials, double box it, fine. I can live with that. I can cut out the audio as long as ball is still on the screen. When they did that second commercial, when it went into just a scoreboard in the commercial, hated it. I know there was a live football happening in my veins, my spidey senses, everything was tingling, everything. Even that butterfly that my dad accidentally hit with a frisbee that one time. It was a crazy frisbee throw and hit a butterfly. Somehow the butterfly just made contact with it. His wings were tingling because that butterfly knew that NFL Red Zone was on and there was no ball being shown. So I'm not upset. I'm just a little bit disappointed. But overall, it was a fantastic NFL Sunday we had. I went 6-3 in my bets. I went 6-3 in my bets. That's fantastic. Week 1, we don't even know what we're doing, but we do know what we're doing because I went 6-3, and guess what? You didn't. Unless you tailed all of my bets, have been in all my live streams, then you went 6-3. Where we lost on Atlanta plus 2.5. Young Waku, we'll get into it, but my God, you're a terrible kicker. And I just hope you're a better human than NFL kicker. Let's just put it that way, because not good. Second one that we lost on was the over in the Cleveland-Cincinnati game. I thought I was a sharp because I bet this at 45.5. It closed at 48.5, and that was just a big old winners. Jacksonville. There's another loser in there. Oh, yeah, it was Baltimore Ravens minus 1.5. Thanks. I'm in a statistical anomaly, I guess. Going off of that, winners. Jacksonville Jaguars, minus 3.5. Love. Green Bay Packers, minus 1.5. Love. Then we also had Tennessee Titans, plus 9.5. Love. Got that at Caesars. Shout out Caesars for having a full point differential from every other sports book. Okay, that's fine. And then Jets, plus 3. Loved it. Almost bet Raiders, but didn't. We also had Browns plus 5.5 to round it all out with San Francisco. And as I'm filming this, Adam Schefter says Brock Purdy has a shoulder injury. Bad. Rounding out all of it, we have the San Francisco 49ers, which I thought was a gut bet. And then all signs pointed to the Seahawks. And then guess what? The Niners somehow won. So sometimes the cookie just crumbles your way, people. Let's go into a great recap of the games. Every recap of every game starts now. Cowboys 20, Eagles 24. I mean, this game, it was just plain old funny. I had a couple people there, so I know some boots on the ground stuff that was happening. It just started off with Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott, which honestly, I don't hate. Sometimes you gotta hock a lug, and if someone's in the way, they're in the way, and if they're talking and they look like one of the people from Alvin and the Chipmunks, they're gonna get hit with some loogie, and it just so happened that Jalen Carter did it. Now, he's reckless, sure. This had a major impact on the game, because I'm not sure if you know, but he is very good at his job. He gets a little crazy. Who doesn't get a little crazy? You should see me on Monopoly night. But I probably wouldn't have spit on someone. I think that was a bad call, and the Eagles needed that because they could not stop anyone on the run. Javonte Williams looked like he was prime Adrian Peterson. He had 2 touchdowns, and he was rushing the ball all over the Eagles. Bad. What else happened is that the Eagles' offensive coordinator looks like trash again. I don't know what it is. People just have Jalen Hurts, and they think, okay, he can't throw the ball. So let's run screens, let's run short plays, let's run a tight end, go out 5 yards, hook in. Oh, he completed. Why can't we throw it to A.J. Brown? Did we all forget? Because I didn't. I'm not the brightest candy in the candy shop. But I didn't forget about A.J. Brown. The Eagles need to use him. They need to use Devontae Smith. They need to be able to stretch the field like the Ravens did so they can run the ball because Saquon cannot run against a stacked box. Not on his fault. When there's a stacked box, they kept calling the same exact play, and I think he averaged under 2 yards on first down. So maybe let's not do that next time. That sounds good. My even bigger fear is that we become like what Jared Goff is, where he's a great scripted quarterback, first 15 plays, and then it goes downhill from there. Afraid. I took the over in this game, and when the total is under 50, which it closed at 47.5, I got it at 46.5, and there's at least 40 points scored in the first half, the over is 172 in 1. The over is now 172 in 2 because the under hit and I lost my prediction. Not happy about that. Whatever. Eagles survive in advance. Chiefs 21, Chargers 27. This game didn't really shock me. There were some shocking things that happened. I think first and foremost, YouTube TV. Your graphics are terrible. Please fix them. I guess it's not YouTube TV. I guess it's just regular YouTube. Anyway, no matter which way you slice it, it was just bad. And I don't want to see that again. Xavier Worthy got hit. Second play of the game. Looked like a car crash. Just dislocated his shoulder. He was out. From there, Patrick Mahomes did not have anyone to throw the ball to. And he was still making magic. Hollywood Brown, he had 99 yards, I think, but he was bad. And Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the league, especially throwing to him on that 4th and 7. It's great because I got so much hope, and now I don't have any more hope. My breakdown of the Chargers, because Justin Herbert is him. He's hitting his final form. He's dating a model or streamer, I guess you can say, really a musician. I was with her since the SoundCloud days. He's becoming into his full form, and you saw his slide. His slide looked majestic. They were able to actually move the ball. He was passing the ball. I love this iteration of the Chargers. I hate when teams get an identity, and they're like, this is all they are. You can't throw the ball. Same with the Steelers. But you can throw the ball, especially when you have Justin Herbert back there. So, loved it. When Xavier Worthy went out, I had him in a lot of my predictions going on. And guess what? When he went down, Fanatics gave the money back, and FanDuel and DraftKings did not. So FanDuel, DraftKings, why don't you take a note from what Fanatics did? Because they got my business now whenever I do bets like that. They got my business. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Chargers should have taken them. Looking back, I took the over. So my bet won. I didn't really care. Here we go, Sunday games. Atlanta 20, Bucks 23. Koo can't kick a field goal to save his life. He could listen to How to Save a Life by The Fray about 99 times, then have his life on the line to go out there and kick a field goal, and he still couldn't. That's how bad he is. As you can tell, I had 2.5 from Atlanta, and I'm still a bit salty about that. Player props, don't do a ton of them. Had Baker rush yards over 13.5. That cashed for me. Ibuka looks like the real deal. With Chris Godwin out, he is the solidified number 2, had 2 touchdowns, and he probably went number 2 that day because he was running down the field quick and fast. So I really like Ibuka. I think it's going to be interesting when Chris Godwin comes back. Vita Vea just stops the run, so I don't know why, just stop trying to run with these stacked boxes. I don't know when these offensive coordinators will realize that. I was really impressed by Penix. He just knew how to get the first down, use his legs when he needed to, and pass the ball when he needed to. And also, Drake London went out. That stunk. I had his more than receiving yards. Didn't hit, but that's fine because we won the Baker. As soon as Koo missed that first kick, I knew it was done. And I knew once it came down to field goal, I looked at my girlfriend and go, he's not making this. And she's like, what do you mean? It could happen. I'm like, no, it's not. You're being too sour. And I was right. So that stunk. I would have rebet that game, though. I liked the line. I liked everything about it. It just didn't bounce my way. So that was in the model, but it was a true loss. Dolphins 8, Colts 33. Imagine being a Dolphins fan. I'm friends with a Dolphins fan, and it's just sad. He keeps trying to throw jabs at me, but they mean nothing because I just keep sending Tua memes, and Tua memes are funny. They're just flat out funny. I laugh them, I save them, and I can't wait to use them more. Because he was bad. This Dolphins team was really bad. I knew that coming in. I think Tyreek Hill knew that coming in because we're basically like BFFs. I was not high on this Dolphins team. The win total made no sense to me. I feel like they're going to do bad against Patriots. That's probably the only thing I'm thinking about placing. Colts, Jim Irsay, RIP. For those of you who don't follow football, Irsay passed away, who was a Colts owner. Apparently struggled with some stuff, but was a good guy. So, I don't know. Shout out Jim Irsay. They just won. And Daniel Jones looks like America's heartthrob, but only from the Midwest out there. Like, Justin Herbert is still the Southern California heartthrob, but then you have Daniel Jones, the Midwest heartthrob. I didn't see anything good, really not much there, but Colts could get interesting. Steelers 34, Jets 32. Jets lost again. I think I'd rather be a shelf-stabilized item on the bottom shelf at a bottom dollar grocery store than be a Jets fan because it seems like it's an eternity of misery. However, they have Justin Fields, and if Sausage Party has taught me anything, there's hope for a little bit of fun here. He was able to actually sling the ball, and it was just dumb mistakes that didn't get the Jets to win the game. It's truly as simple as that. The defense was either terrible or Aaron Rodgers is God again, and I'm not sure which one. Both defenses honestly looked bad because I don't think people are projecting both quarterbacks to do this good. I did love how the Jets were using Justin Fields, letting him just throw the ball, kind of letting him off the loose a little bit, have some fun with it. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what he took. Maybe it's just all those mushrooms, but he might be on to something being a Steeler. Didn't look quite right in those colors, but he was balling out, and I loved it. 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns? That sounds right, too. People who I don't even know who that guy was. Everyone knows that one guy who got that touchdown. No one knows who he is. Raiders 20, Pats 13. Raiders look like they're humming on all cylinders, and Bald Brock is here to stay, and he actually crushed it that game. Geno Smith looked good. Ashton Genty, some concerns. 19 carries for 38 yards. He did have a touchdown, however. Maybe it was a rain or Pats D-line is fantastic, or the Raiders offensive line is terrible. Time's going to tell. Drake May, I don't know. Henderson did be involved in the passing game, and that was something that was great to see. Booty also had over 100 yards, which that's just plain old fun to say. I don't read this game either way. I leaned Raiders, didn't place any cheddar cheese on it, so not upset with the outcome. I think Raiders are in a good spot next week. Cardinals 20, Saints 12. Kyler Murray had an illness, apparently had a stomach ache before the game, and I'm honestly going to spend less time covering it than I did watching it. Panthers 10, Jags 26. This game, it was another rain delay, but the game was pretty much over before then. Jacksonville was just running all over this Carolina defense, and it really seemed like they regressed a ton. The rain delay is really throwing me off. Thankfully, it had me lose my bet in the Eagles, but thankfully it's going to, maybe it helped with this one for Jacksonville, but it's more strange than Brenton Strange scoring a touchdown on Stranger Things. The timelines don't add up there, and it's just weird, freaky, spooky, and it keeps happening, and I'm scared. Either way, I love this Jags team. Let's keep it rolling. We have the over 7.5 for team total wins. And we also had the minus 3.5 that game. Bengals 17, Browns 16. I mean, the Bengals won a game, but they just beat the Browns, and it was a tough one. A lot of misplays for the Browns, and Myles Garrett had 2 sacks on what I believe was back-to-back plays. He looked more scary than a friendly ghost offering you a candy bar at midnight when you know you have to make sure that your slipper fits for the pumpkin carriage, but you're not sure if that's your ride or not, so you keep trying to contact your pumpkin Uber driver, and eventually they just tell you, oh, we're here, but then you have to walk a half block, and it's kind of inconvenient. That's how scary he was. The Bengals defense held up pretty good, or the Browns offense is terrible. Time will tell. My takeaway really is that the Bengals need to use Joe Burrow better. He had under 150 passing yards, which is not good. Jamar Chase not show up. T. Higgins did not show up. Bad and could be very scary. But look, they lost those games last year. Giants 6, Commanders 21. Russell Wilson stinks. Giants still stink. Nothing new. 0 touchdowns for the Giants. And I've been screaming, don't draft Neighbors. He's fantastic, but he's not going to be good until he has someone who's a legitimate person throwing him the ball. Alarm bells for the Commanders because I feel like they should have crushed his team more, but maybe they just had a look-ahead game in week 2. Deebo Samuel had 7 receptions. He looked large, but in charge. People say that about me during the holiday season as well, so hashtag certified Husky boys. Niners 17, Seahawks 13. This was a terrible spot for the Niners. I placed a bet on this one well before the game happened. I'm talking 2-3 weeks because I was just sitting, probably going to the bathroom, probably number 2, probably a voice crack, thinking to myself when I'm going to hit puberty. And I was like, oh, Niners are going to move off of this 2.5. Nope, they moved to 1.5. Everything screamed take the Seahawks. I didn't. Worked out well for me. Those rarely never happen. Christian McCaffrey, everyone is afraid of him because of his hamstring. He was back in full form. He had 142 all-purpose yards. George Kittle rocks, but it seems like he's injured, and I haven't read into it, but I saw the notification. Purdy might be injured too, so that's going to be scary. Sam Darnold, he looks serviceable, but nothing insane. I think he's going to be exactly what Seattle thinks. They're going to be 7-10. Lions 13, Packers 27. Really, though, this game was over. It should have been Packers 27, Lions 6. This game was over from the first snap. Green Bay came out absolutely firing, carving up Detroit's secondary. Turns out the Lions' offensive line is not good. They didn't even score a touchdown until late in the game. They couldn't even run the ball Montgomery or Gibbs. That's how you know it's bad. They were getting after Jared Goff, who's 8-0, but now 8-1 against the spread in his first game of the season because he couldn't do anything. It honestly wasn't even Parsons. He didn't play that much. It was the rest of this Green Bay front. The passing downfield with Love just looked majestic. He always feels like he should be having more yards than what he does end up having. I think it's because he gets a ton of chunk plays. Baltimore 40, Bills 41. I don't have notes right now for this game because I did all my notes yesterday. The only note is that it's insane. It's insane how I bet the Ravens and they didn't win. But of course that would happen, right? Because if I bet the Bills, that would have made too much sense. I bet the Ravens and now we are not winning. But that's fine. That's fine. It was actually incredible how bad. How Ravens 40, Bills 41, Josh Allen is a man, and Lamar Jackson is not him. I feel like it's one of those weird love triangles where it's like Josh beats Lamar, and then Lamar doesn't beat Patrick Mahomes and wants to beat Patrick Mahomes, and then Patrick Mahomes beats Josh Allen. The Ravens just find ways to lose games, like how I find ways to not actually throw out the paper towel that I'm using and piss off my girlfriend. I'm working on it. We're getting there. Step by step is how I'm taking it. Overall, this game was just flat out embarrassing for both defenses. I mean, they were able to just run the ball all over the Bills. Derrick Henry had 2+ touchdowns. Then you flip it, and the Bills were able to move the ball at will to what this Baltimore defense looked incredible at the start, but they totally lost it. I don't know if it was the Josh Allen effect being at the Bills Stadium, but my God, that was a bad loss. And you have to make your extra point loop. I think it was an extra point. You have to make that, dude. Come on. Come on. Look ahead for week 2. We have the Commanders-Packers. I'll break that game down more for our Thursday morning show. Right now, Packers are at -3.5 with 44% of the bets and 57% of the money back in them. Jaguars visiting the Bengals. Right now, it's Bengals -3.5. Patriots at Dolphins. Right now, Dolphins are -1. Definitely leaning Patriots at first look. Niners, Saints, definitely leaning more towards the Saints at 6.5 because I think that the Niners might have significant injuries already. Browns, Ravens, I already bet this one before we even started. Right now, the Ravens are favored at 12.5 points with only 29% of the money and 72%, or 29% of the bets and 72% of the money backing them. Giants at Cowboys. Right now, the Cowboys are -5.5. They're going to rout this Giants team, in my opinion. Bears, Lions. Right now, the line is at 4.5 and 5.5, depending on the book. Lions favored. Bills, Jets. Right now, the Jets are at +6.5. Moved off that +7. That's something to keep an eye on. I don't hate the Jets as home dogs. Seahawks, Steelers. Right now, the Steelers are -2.5 point favorites. And then Rams, Titans. Right now, Titans are +6. That looks juicy. I might take. Broncos, Colts. Right now, the Colts are +2.5. You have to take the Broncos here probably and hope they have a comeback game. Panthers, Cardinals. Panthers at +6.5. I love that line. Why is no one taking that? I guess they're seeing something on the Cardinals. I don't. Eagles, Chiefs, marquee game. Depending on which book you have, each team's at a 1 point of a dog. I hope the Eagles have more of a bounce back game here. Falcons, Vikings. Right now, Vikings are 4.5 point favorites. J.J. McCarthy, we'll see how he plays. Penix, I don't hate Penix at the +4.5. I don't hate that at all. Buccaneers, Texans. Right now, Texans are -2.5. Buccaneers are at +3 some books. No play on that probably. It's Monday night game. I'll definitely get that. Chargers, Raiders. Why is there 2 Monday night games? That's the worst. Right now, Raiders are at +3.5, and that looks juicy, people. That's the recap. Young Wei Koo can't make a kick to save his life. The Giants look terrible, but not that terrible. They actually look great. They just lost. The Eagles, Jalen Carter is spitting on people. That's the NFL Week 1. We are on to Week 2. We went 6-3 NFL Week 1. Let's get it in Week 2. Simple as that. God bless. I love Affaka.